Hey all, and in this video I'm going to be discussing 10 ways you can improve your level quality and hopefully get your levels played and liked more. Enjoy! The first thing I want to discuss is making your levels fun, fair and not too difficult. You can make harder levels, but they generally have quite a low fan base. You do have players that specifically go for really hard levels though to try and clear them, but the majority seem to like easier levels. Main example level of something really easy. So this is just jumping along platforms. This is fair. If you fall down, you can have another go at it. Making a level like that where you can reattempt each section if you fail will hopefully keep the player from quitting the level. Another example here, I put a checkpoint there. We just have a standard jumping along the Koopa Troopers. There's nothing unfair about this, it's pretty easy. You've even got the vines there to help you if you need them. Now I'm going to look at a section that's not so fair. So you get to this point, you see 4 of these. You have no idea which one you're meant to go into. Let's try the bottom one. Oh look, I put spikes at the end and there's no way back. This is a perfect example of something that's completely unfair and you really don't want to be putting in your levels. So there we go. So the correct route is, as you probably saw, to go for the second one. So let's drag Mario up. So here's another example of something that's unfair in my opinion, when you can't see the bottom of the level and you have to do a blind drop. There's an arrow pointing roughly towards the ground, but you don't know exactly where the platform is. You're going to just jump down. There's a good chance you'll miss completely. Yeah, so don't do that. Definitely don't do that. And one more example of something that's completely unfair that I often see used in levels. You really don't want to be doing this. The off-screen thwomp. The thwomp that comes out of nowhere. Never do this. It's a guaranteed way to make the player quit or possibly boo your level if you do this. Here's an example. You couldn't see the thwomp. It came down, it killed Mario. There was literally nothing I could do about it. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is regarding testing and feedback. You want other players to test your stages, ideally. If there are problems with your stage, you want to take it down and fix that, then re-upload. You want to avoid creating stages with situations where Mario can get completely stuck, forcing a restart, otherwise known as a soft lock. You also want to avoid unintentional shortcuts in the level, otherwise known as cheese. I've made this example level to show you a few situations where Mario can get stuck, and also a few cheese situations. I'm going to play it now. Now the first one is up here. This is quite a common one actually. If you don't collect all the coins, then you go and get a mushroom. You can find yourself getting completely stuck very easily, as I've just done here. Now what am I going to do now? As you can see, Mario, you're not getting out of that. Yeah, now I'm forced to restart. Avoid that. Another good example. Let's move across. One-way doors. Yeah, we love one-way doors. Very easy to get stuck here. Perfect example. Let's get the key. There's no way you're getting out of that. You're forced to restart. Right, let's move across. Ah, cloud blocks, yes. Very easy to get stuck using semi-solids or cloud blocks. Here's a good example. So I jumped a little bit too high, end up here. As you can see, you meant to go across. I didn't go across. I'm now completely stuck. Alright, let's move across. This is a situation where you only have one item. If you use it incorrectly, then you can't progress and you're forced to restart. Another situation where you want to avoid this. So you meant to use the power block to destroy the muncher, but what happens if I don't? I'm going to throw it up against the ceiling, or throw it up against the side wall. Muncher's still there. No power block, no way out of this. I'm forced to restart. Brilliant. Alright, let's grab that power block. Let's continue on. Springs. Gotta be a bit careful of springs. Especially if you've got narrow passages like this. If I do that. Yeah. I'm stuck. I'm not getting out of that. Right, let's move across. Move Mario across to here. Let's grab him, there we go. This situation here is a cheese situation. You're meant to get the springs, throw them across to get across the spikes. However, there's a mushroom there as well. It's also quite a tedious section of the level. I made it like that intentionally. So let's do it like that. You're meant to jump across. 1, 2. You made the platform, but as I put a big power up there, all I need to do is get that and damage boost across, defeating the purpose of it. That's done like this. There you go, don't bother with the springs. There we go, so what was the point of the springs? None whatsoever. Alright, so another good cheese situation is if an item is used in an unintended way. I made this lovely checkered pattern here with the wall. I've also put bombs in the next section. You're meant to blast through the wall here. However, you can go back in the pipe with a bomb. You can probably work out what I'm going to do now. Yep, I'm going to blast through the wall. I've just skipped a large section of the level. Even better, I'm going to blast through the ceiling now. Let's get another bomb. I've seen this done in levels quite a few times. Alright, let's just throw it upwards. Yep, I'm just going to run along the top of the level. I've skipped most of the level. I've skipped all that section anyway, and the subworld. Bowser Jr. bat at the end. Let's get the axe, beating the level. So there we go. Some examples of cheese and soft locks that you really want to stay away from. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is regarding liking and commenting. The whole purpose of doing this is to get attention from the person who made the level. They see that you've liked and commented on their level and they might think, oh, I'm going to check out his levels or her levels. I'm going to go and like this level right now, as it was a pretty good one. I try and avoid using the boo heart. The creator loses 15 points, and I think sometimes you also lose 1 point if you boo a level, so I really try and avoid booing levels. Now the commenting style I like to use is the middle one here, writing a hand-drawn comment. Plain text doesn't really stand out, and the standardised stamp comments are overused and don't really stand out either. So I like to draw something with this. So I'm going to make a comment right now. Okay, so I've commented on the level. I've just written a few words about the level. It was a fun level, so that's what I've written. I've also drawn a yellow star on the level. This is pretty much what I've been commenting on all levels in this sort of style. I like to have a standardised commenting style so people recognise me, if that makes sense. So there we go. I'm going to go and post this right now. Comment posted. There we go. So any levels that I enjoy, I'll write a comment very similar to that and give a like to it. Hopefully the creator will see that I've liked and commented. That will draw attention. They may check out my levels. Hopefully they'll give them a few likes. And they might even follow me. Win-win situation if that happens. Alright, so we're going to move on to point number 4. That is, do not unfairly troll the player. It takes a very skilled maker to make a good troll level. Most troll levels end up just being terrible. If someone gets it in Endless Challenge, they're likely to boo it if they die repeatedly from unfair deaths. This is an example of a bad troll level. This will show some typical examples of bad trolling. The first thing I have is a door. A door that leads to instant death. You see this quite a lot. Don't do that. It's a good way to make the player rage quit and possibly boo the level. Here's another typical example. Hidden blocks over a pit. Normally you'd jump like that and then fall down into the pit. I see that quite a lot. Don't do that. The third one, the typical off-screen thwomp. That comes out of nowhere. That's considered a troll mechanic. It's not fun when that happens. Normally end up just quitting. Fourth one is regarding coins. Don't put coins leading to instant death or leading to nowhere like this. There's another example up, which I'm going to do now. I'll show you. At this point you're meant to cut the vines. So if you follow the coins now, you die. Another example here. Power-ups. If you get the power-ups, you're trapped. Yeah, that's brilliant. Not fun when that happens. Rightio, let's move on. Here we have something weird that I decided to put in. If you hit the on-off switch, a bunch of munchers come down and kill you. Yeah. Enough said about that, the better. So the way to do this part is actually to run a little bit backwards and then jump on top of the on-off switch. It's done like this. You don't really want to do stuff like this. You don't want to unfairly kill the player though. They may end up rage quitting and just booing the level. Here's another example. You reach the door. It just leads back to the start. No one wants to do all that again. You're just going to annoy the player. And again, they may quit or boo the level. Let's get back to where I was. Drag Mario all the way forward. It's quite a long way. Here we go. So you're meant to go down the pipe here. Normally on this sort of level, you're going to encounter random Bowser as well. I've just put in a triple stack of Bowsers just because I can. It's not really a troll mechanic, it's just a typical example of a garbage mechanic. Oh, there we go. Try and get past the triple Bowser now. This might take a while. We'll try and... Oh, there we go, he's jumped. Brilliant. Right. So there we go. I've beaten the level. I've beaten the troll level. And then... yeah. That's just evil. Putting spikes behind the goal. Yeah. You do that, the player is not going to be happy. The way you do this part is a thwomp that comes out of nowhere and then you just jump across. But yeah, that's some examples of troll mechanics. You really don't want to be doing this though. Just try and stay away from any trolling unless you're really experienced at making levels. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is regarding making your level look nice. Really focus on the aesthetics of the level. Focus on attention to detail. Really focus on making it look nice. Now I've made a short example here of something that doesn't look very nice. As you can see, I've got some uneven platforming here. That doesn't look good. Random Goombas here. Naked pipes. I really do not like naked pipes. Always put a few blocks underneath so it's actually connected to something, otherwise it just looks horrible. That's a completely random part here, and that's it. It's only a short example. However, if I go into the pipe, here's an example of something that looks a bit better. I've actually focused on making it look nice. What I've done here, I put semi-solids. I put some blue pipes in rather than green pipes as it's a winter theme. I think blue pipes look nicer and go with it better. Got some thwomps there. Simple platforming. I could add some enemies to this at a later date as well, so this is pretty easy. I added some ice blocks here to the standard ground to make it look a bit nicer. It's symmetrical as well, as you can see. Okay, got a few more pipes here, and that's all I've done for that. So there we go, it's just a short example of how to make your level look a bit nicer. So really try and focus on that when you're making a level. Okay, so moving on. This is something you may not have thought to do, but put some 1-up mushrooms near the start of the level, especially if your level's going to end up quite difficult. The reason for this is because of Endless Challenge. Extra lives help the player out a lot in Endless Challenge, especially on the expert or super expert stages. To be generous and put some 1-up mushrooms near the start of the level. Here's an example level I've made. I've put 4, you only need to put 3, but 4 looked a bit better. What you have to do during this level is just spin jump across, but it's actually really difficult. Somehow I managed to do it first go, I'm not really sure how actually. That's pretty good game, but that's how it's done anyway. There's something to bear in mind if you're making a difficult course. Add some 1-up mushrooms. Okay, so moving on to my next point. You should try and play as many good quality levels as you can. You can use ideas from these levels as inspiration for your own levels, but never directly copy from them. A good place to find good quality levels is obviously the popular courses section, as you can see here. Quite a few courses there. They all look pretty good. They've all got tons of plays on them as well. And generally just try and play as many levels as possible. The more levels you play, the more ideas you'll get for your own levels. And then hopefully your own levels will end up better. Okay, so on to my next point. Try and think of original ideas or ideas that have rarely been done before or you have not seen done before at all. Don't use ideas that have been used over and over in levels unless you really want to. So I made an example level here of something that's slightly crazy, but I don't think has been done much, if at all. It's an automatic underwater level. Yeah, okay. This is maybe not that good. I'll be honest, let's just show you the level anyway. You just stand here, the springs bounce you across. The thwomps come down. This actually took me quite a long time to make. It's maybe not the best idea, but something like this has not been done much, if at all. So there's an example of something that's reasonably original, even though it's not exactly the best idea, if I'm being honest. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to sound effects. If used correctly, these can really improve your level. The best way, in my opinion, to use sound effects is to try and build up atmosphere in the level. This works pretty well on a ghost house themed level. Here's an example level anyway. So at the start, I've got the heartbeat sound effect with all these ghosts that you can see here. Now we go into the door. You've got the horror sound effect. You think you're going to die, but the P-switch activates at the last minute, allowing you to go into the pipe. Again, we have the heartbeat sound effect here. So let's progress onwards. Now for this part we've got the boss music, as this would have been the boss in the level. The idea of this boss is to make the Magic Koopa shoot through the wall like this. And you have to hit the power block twice, or jump on the Magic Koopa in order to win, as the Magic Koopa has the key. There we go. Alright. At this point, I've added the silence sound effect. It's a strange part just before the end of the level, which is here. I've added the hand clap to the pipe to represent that you've beaten the level. So there we go. That's a few examples of how you can use sound effects to build up atmosphere in the level and try and improve the level as well. Okay, so the final thing I want to talk about is promoting your level outside of the game. There are quite a few methods for doing this. One example, there are many Facebook groups for sharing levels. The best method to use on these Facebook groups is to play other levels and ask the person to play your level in return. You can also use YouTube. You can also use Twitch. Quite a few streamers on Twitch that may play your level. You can also use Discord as well, that might help. If you don't have any of those options, one other thing you can do is go through the new courses section, play, like and comment on some of those and hope the player gives your level a try and return. And that's the end of the video. I hope that was helpful. Feel free to post any more helpful tips or comments in the comments section of the video if you want to. Also feel free to check out some of my other videos if you want. And thanks for watching.